You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cricket Podcast, where we are previewing Group A of this year's IPL. We're going to do Lucknow Super Giants next. Max has been writing notes all day on Lucknow Super Giants.
Yeah, extensive.
It's going to be exciting. But before we get there, just really quickly, seriouscricket.co.uk for your cricket equipment. Use the code TCP22 for 10% off. Support the Cricket Podcast. Support yourself. Get yourself some new spikes. Get yourself a new bat.
Get a new box.
Bats are really where it's at. We should be flogging the bats. We shouldn't be saying go
high
box.
value
Items. Go high value items. Buy.
Make the most of your discount.
TCP 22. Yeah, exactly. And patreon.com/the cricket pod. It's all in the show notes. There's a bunch of good stuff there. Go click that link. Click both those links. And listen to this in the background while you're browsing our wares. Lucknow Super Giants, Max. LSG. A bit like LSD, except with a G.
And a bit like MSG, sort of. Yeah.
In between.
Somewhere in between those two acronyms. But neither of those acronyms.
Psychedelic food additive.
Yes. And that's what they will be hoping to bring to the IPL this year.
That sounds like
loopy.
It sounds like a really weird indie band's name. Psychedelic food additives.
Well, perhaps you could be the front man of said band. We're already derailed, but that's fine. Lucknow Super Giants, obviously based in Lucknow. The new team, one of the new teams for this IPL, coached by Andy Flower and captain by none other than King legend KL Rahul. So be all eyes on Lucknow with him in charge. They will be getting dressed in a kind of grey thing with a sort of Tetris pattern in the background. So any fans of retro 90s gaming or it might even be 80s Tetris, but either way, repetitive blocks falling down the screen. This is the team for you. Lucknow, right? So our random facts about Lucknow. The Lucknow Gantagar of Husainabad is the highest clock tower in India, standing at a proud height of 130 meters. So that's quite high. I don't know how that compares with clock towers across the world, but it's the highest in India, so it's probably up there. Let's be honest, 130 meters. But I mean that's nothing. That's nothing compared. We've already had some railway chat, right? We've already had some train chat.
Choo choo.
Yeah. So the sale of bananas, like you believe this, the sale of bananas is banned in the railway station of Lucknow since August 2019 to ensure cleanliness.
No.
Unfortunately.
Is there too many people slipping over?
Yeah. Well, this is bad news for fans of Mario Kart, ladies and gentlemen. But that's not it. It gets better. It gets better. So despite the 2019 August ban on
people are still falling over.
The Charbagh railway station is still ranked 105th out of 700 railway stations surveyed for cleanliness by the Indian Railways and Quality Council of India in 2019. So
they're doing all right.
They're
doing all right.
Well, imagine if they hadn't banned bananas.
They're in the top 7th.
Be a disaster now. They're gonna have to ban. They have to ban kiwi fruit next.
Big Ben's only 96 meters tall, so they've got us beat.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Big time.
Big Ben, Little Ben, cardboard box. Okay. Enough of that. We get to some cricket. So top players. Well, we've already named him. We've already named the top player. It's King Legend. 17 crore, joint most expensive guy in the IPL. KL Rahul. But they also have some quite good players around him. Ravi Bishnoi, we rate highly and got his go in the India team very recently. Marcus Stoinis, the self-proclaimed "I want to be the best finisher in world T20 cricket," is there. Quinton de Kock, we know what he's all about. He's been around the IPL for a while. And Jason Holder, newly reinvented as T20 Demon. So they've got quite a lot going on. Strength-wise, I would say they're pretty stacked for all-rounders. So already mentioned Stoinis and Holder. They've also got Krunal Pandya. They've got a few other guys as well in terms of people who could come in as backups. So basically, in terms of sort of in-game strategies, I think they can be really flexible. Throw in an over of Stoinis here or there, throw in over of Holder, get Krunal to do his weird stuff. So lots of people who can just provide the odd extra over if one of their actual bowlers is not quite doing the business. So some nice options there. But in terms of weaknesses, it's probably the big thing is the recent news that Mark Wood's going to be missing the IPL with his elbow injury. So he was a fair chunk of money on a fast bowler, and he's going to be a massive blow. So I mean, they would have had Mark Wood, they would have had Avesh Khan, who was so good last year, Bishnoi, Krunal Pandya, Krishna Gautam chipping in, Stoinis,
Shabazz
Nadeem, Jason Holder, loads of guys who you could put together in a good lineup, but without Mark Wood, there's no real pace. Like Avesh Khan will power play overs, but like in terms of raw pace, they're a bit lacking. You know, like I said, Stoinis, Holder, you got sort of medium-ish. So maybe a gap there that they can fill, or they can bring someone in from the rest of the roster.
Max, I think the Sri Lankan Kamira. I think as a replacement for Mark Wood goes. Actually, I don't think he's totally. I don't think he's too bad.
Yeah, but he's untested, new to the IPL, but he looks decent from what we've seen of him. So I think it'll be exciting to see him play. But yeah, it could be. It's jury's out, I'd say. We'll see how it goes in terms of the IPL. The other thing on their batting, it kind of all depends on whether King Legend decides he wants to play cricket properly or not. So we will see whether taking the KL out of Punjab will change his ways, or whether he continues to be Punjab KL. In which case, it could be a very ponderous partnership between him and Manish Pandey. We could be looking at some snorefests.
Oh God,
I think Pandey is going to be reinvented. I reckon Pandey's going to have a good tournament.
You reckon it'll be Pandey will be the man?
Yeah, I reckon Pandey's going to be someone
who you
turn
these
around.
ideas.
I don't know. You just get a feeling. I had a feeling that Babra Azam would salvage a Test match against Australia, and I think Manish Pandey is going to have a good IPL.
What's good IPL in your book here? What's Manish
averaging 30 at a strike rate of 120?
No, that's normal Pandey, isn't it? He's gonna strike at 147 this year.
147.
What?
The new Ronnie.
No, I reckon Pandey's gonna have a good year. He'll have a similar season to what Agarwal had last year. He's gonna strike at about 140, and he's gonna be a pretty good force for good at the top of this order.
Right,
force for good, like Batman.
Well, we will see. If he doesn't do that, then they'll be relying on probably Krunal Pandya and Stoinis to finish things off. But if he does, well, it could work well. We will see. So in terms of the playing 11, I guess we've got KL Rahul and Quinton de Kock to open up, double wicket keeper opening stand. Stoinis could be in at 3, or he could be further down. You've got Manish Pandey, Diak Huda, Krunal Pandya, Jason Holder, and then we're looking at Gautam, Avesh Khan, probably Kamira in place of Wood, unless they sign someone else, and Ravi Bishnoi. So there's a few options for who, because they'll obviously be able to bring someone in to replace Wood in the squad at least. So
who are they looking at? Who are the options for Mark Wood's replacement?
So there's Reece Topley, who's sort of back in the England squad, and
no, I'm not picking
done
him up.
All right. Thumbs down. George Garton, who had a brief stint with was it RCB last year and was pretty pants.
Can bat though and can field, so they might take that into consideration. If you think of like their all-rounder approach, then they might fit into that.
Shiny Thomas, Andrew Tye, Sheldon Cottrell. Any of those pick your fancy? Or are we going?
I like
Kamira?
Sheldon Cottrell just because, not like as a player, I would never have him in my team. It's always good having him around the place, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, well, out of those, yeah, I think you're right, Ross. I think Kamira would be the guy who comes in there. So we will see how it goes. I don't think it's too bad. I think it could go all right. It's just a bit of a blow, the Mark Wood thing, but we'll see. Why would you support Lucknow?
Where do
King
you place
Legends.
them out of 10?
Well, I would say with Wood, they potentially would have been in the mixer for playoffs. I reckon they'd have a shout. If King Legend plays as well as he can, I reckon they could be in with a shout, but I reckon they might just miss out. So I'm going to go. Ross has already had 6th, so I'm going to say 5th. I reckon they're going to finish 5th.
I reckon King Legend has moved from the Punjab Kings to the Punjab Kings here.
You reckon?
Like it just looks like that to me. It's like there's bits.
You can
see how the team could work.
They've got so much more batting, I think, here in terms of people who can actually score runs quickly. I suppose unless you bowl spin at Quinton de Kock, then he might struggle. But you got Stoinis and Pandey. You got people who can actually finish the innings. Yeah, that's true.
It still didn't work, did it?
Yeah, I forgot they had good players before. Yeah.
Well,
we will see. We will see. But on paper, I think they're decent. I think they've got a lot of good about them. Obviously, they're not perfect, but no one's perfect in this iteration with the extra 2 teams. So I think
did you give a reason to support them?
Yeah, King Legend. Why else? What other reason could you possibly need?
If you like Giants, and you want the super ones.
If you like psychedelic food additives,
yeah, these are always
cool. Are you done, Max?
I'm done. Is there anything you cats wanted to chip in with on the Lucknow?
Why is Kyle Mayers there? I don't understand that as a pickup.
I did wonder this.
Right.
They had one of the weirdest benches of all time. Who are the other guys, overseas players they've got? Ross, I'm assuming you've got it up in front of you.
Yeah, Evan Lewis, I think, is actually a good player.
Evan Lewis is a good
side.
player, yeah.
And then you've got Marcus Stoinis, Holder. I think both are decent all-rounder pickups. They've got Quinton de Kock, who's a good pickup at the top of the order, and they had Mark Wood and Kamira. So I don't think they did too badly on that front. But I think I love their approach of just going, do you know what? We're not too sure if we should get batsmen or bowlers.
So we're just going to get
all-rounders.
7 all-rounders.
Yeah, we don't want people who are 8 out of 10 batting or 8 out of 10 bowling. We want people who are 4 or 5 out of 10 and a couple of 6 out of 10s on each side. So maybe it's something that's going to work for them.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it'll be fun to follow, and that's what I genuinely think with this lineup. I think it'll be really fun to follow. I think with Avesh Khan, they've got a great bowler there with Bishnoi as well, and hopefully some real attacking intent at the top, alongside some middle order hitting in from Stoinis. I think they should be fun to follow.
Right. And if not, they'll always have the banana-free Charbagh railway station. So let's bring that to a close.
You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.